Hello and welcome. Welcome to this new video. In this video, I will be showing you the superlative and comparative adjectives. By the end of this video, you will be able to use the superlative and comparative adjectives with no problem, and you will know how to use them and when to use them. So stay tuned to the end of the video to learn more about superlative and comparative videos. As we said today, the lesson of the name of the lesson is the comparative and superlatives. So first we're gonna start by forming regular comparative and superlatives. So first we're going to see how to use the comparatives to compare two things or two people. This is the first use of the comparative and superlative. For example, she is taller than her husband. So we are comparing her to her husband. So she is taller than him. So she is taller than her husband. The second use, superlatives are used, however, to show the difference between more than two things or more than two people. So as we said in the comparative, we compare two things, but the superlative is to show the difference, not comparing. So we are showing the difference between more than two things or more than two people. So for example, we have Paris is the biggest city in France. So we are showing the difference between Paris and the other cities in France. So the third use is to form comparatives and superlative. You need to know the number of the syllables in the adjective. Syllables are like sound beats. So for instance, find contains one syllable, but finding contain two, find and ing. So there are two syllables, find and ing. So the rules to form comparatives and superlatives is very simple. So one syllable adjective ending in a silent e. For example, nice. So in the comparative we just add r, the letter r. So we say nicer. And for superlative we add est in the end of the word. For example, nicest. So for the adjective nice, for the comparative we say nicer, and for superlative we say nicest. So there is one syllable adjective ending in one vowel and one consonant. For example, big. So for the big, we say in the comparative, the consonant is doubled and the er is added. So we have bigger. We added the other consonant, which is G, and we added er. So we have bigger as in a comparative adjective. For the superlative, the consonant is doubled and est is added. It is the same rule as the comparative, but we add est instead of er. So we get biggest. We added G, we doubled the consonant, and we added est. For one syllable adjective ending in more than one consonant and more than a vowel, for example, like long vowels, for example, high, sheep, soft, the comparative we add er, we add er, so we get higher, cheaper and softer for the comparative. And for the superlative we add the est for highest and cheapest and softest. So this is the whole rule. So for example, the two syllable adjective ending in y, for example, happy we have two syllables, hap and p. So but it ending in the vowel y. So we have, like, for the comparative, the y becomes I and er is added, happier. For the superlative, y becomes I and est is added, so we say happiest. For the syllables adjective ending in y, the y in the end transforms to be ier. So we have the comparative happier and happiest in superlative. We have the fifth case, which is two syllables or more adjectives without y at the end. For example, exciting. Exciting, we have more than two syllables. So we apply this rule. For the comparative, we say more. We add the word more plus the adjective plus than. So we get more exciting than. This is the comparative. We add more plus the adjective itself plus than. So we have more exciting than, for example. And for the superlative, we have most instead of more, plus the adjective plus than. So we have the most exciting. For examples, the Nile River is longer and more famous than the Thames. Egypt is much hotter than Sweden. Everest is the highest mountain in the world. This is one of the most exciting films I have ever seen. So we have this table here, shows us two little baby boys. We have Peter, which is 6 years old, and we have Charlie, which is 5 months old. So we say Peter is older than Charlie, and we say Charlie is younger than Peter, for example. And this table shows the adjectives and their the irregular, comparative, and superlative. We have adjectives like bad. For the comparatives, they are worse, and superlatives are worst. Far, for distance, is farther and farthest. We have far for the extent. In the comparative is further, and superlative is furthest. Good, better for comparative, and best for superlatives. Little is less in comparatives and least in superlatives. Many is more in comparative and most in superlatives, and much is more in comparatives and most in superlatives. So I'm going to show you here. This is the last thing, how to use comparatives and superlative. For comparatives, we use comparatives to compare two things or two people, like we said in the beginning. For example, Alan is taller than John. And for superlatives are used to compare more than two things or two people, or to show the difference between two things or two people. For example, Alan is the most intelligent. Next, we have the similarities between comparatives and superlative. Like the similarities, they are both used to express. The similarities are expressed in the following structure. They are both. They can both be used in the form structure, as plus adjective plus as. For example, Alan is as tall as John, or Alan is intelligent as John. So they are both can be used in this following structure. For examples, Mike is as intelligent as Nancy. Larry is as popular as Oprah. And thank you for your attention, and hope to see you in a good health in the next video. And thank you, and keep on following us. Thank you.